Support for this podcast comes from St. Alphonsus Sports Medicine, offering services for sports injury and recovery, with physicians and athletic trainers who provide treatment for fractures, dislocations, sprains, strains, and other sports-related issues. More information on services at stalphonsus.org. So you can't see this, but hopefully you can hear it. Behind every Boise State Public Radio podcast is a team working hard to bring you stories that matter. So if you value podcasts like this one, please support them. Hit donate at boisestatepublicradio.org. Thanks.
It's the Connector Idaho Daily News from Boise State Public Radio. I'm Troy Oppie. It is Thursday, May 21st. Here are this morning's headlines. Many will travel over the Rainbow Bridge on Highway 55 this coming holiday weekend. The Idaho Transportation Department is ready to unveil plans for its replacement. There are nearly 1 million Idahoans living under drought conditions right now, and where some Republicans are turning their attention for November. First, more from Tuesday's primary election. Moderate Republicans made slight gains at the State House after primary challengers took out some of the most vocal members of the far-right's contingent. Here's James Dawson with more.
On Tuesday night, Idaho's so-called Gang of 8 became the Gang of 3 after more moderate Republicans ousted 5 of their members in the primary. The far right took back a seat here and there, like Scott Herndon reclaiming his spot in the Senate over Jim Woodward. But overall, the Senate moved one step closer to the center. It might not sound like much, but Boise State political science professor Jacqueline Kettler says that slight shift could make a difference.
One vote can matter a lot in terms of whether legislation's going to move forward out of committee, whether it succeeds on the floor. We had a few really close votes this past session.
In the House, traditional Republicans reclaimed 3 seats overall. That moderating force could also increase if Democrats beat a handful of hardliners in GOP-favored districts. James Dawson, Boise State Public Radio News.
Fewer than one-third of registered voters statewide participated in Tuesday's primaries. That was the statewide average. Turnout was lower in Idaho's 2 most populated counties, Ada and Canyon. But more people participated this cycle compared to 8 of the last 10 statewide primaries, according to data from the Secretary of State's office. This week's results largely determine who will hold office. Ada County Republican Party First Vice Chair Ryan Spoon said Tuesday night.
In Idaho, November is kind of a foregone conclusion. So in all but 4 districts, whoever is the Republican or in Boise, the Democrat, is going to win. So the real election was today. And the only thing we're really dealing with in November is probably the abortion ballot initiative.
Spoon referring to the ballot measure which would allow doctors in Idaho to provide reproductive health care without the threat of criminal or civil penalty. Organizers say they gathered enough signatures to qualify that measure for the November ballot, but that has not yet been confirmed by election officials. Tuesday's results are not official until canvassed and approved by each county, the deadline for which is June 9th. The Secretary of State's office plans to conduct its randomized draw for post-election audits on May 29th. A Boise man arrested Wednesday on charges of kidnapping and rape may have additional victims. Boise police say conversations on social media about the suspect, 32-year-old Devin Watton, suggest other people may have witnessed or had knowledge of potential crimes or been victims themselves. Anyone with information is asked to call investigators or the Crime Stoppers tip line. The Canyon County Prosecutor's Office says a 62-year-old man who drowned Tuesday in a canal had a medical condition which prevented him from swimming to safety. The coroner, in a news release, identified the victim as Nampa resident Robert Norse. The Canyon County Sheriff's Office says evidence suggests Norse was fishing the spillway off the lower Lake Lowell Dam when he fell in the water. Boise Mayor Lauren McLean's former chief of staff, Courtney Washburn, got a sizable severance package as she departed the city, more than double the standard calculation listed in city policy, according to public records obtained by Boise Dev. The severance, issued at the discretion of the mayor's office, is typically only required when the city dismisses an employee for reasons not related to misconduct or non-performance, according to policy. Washburn had served the mayor for 6 years and was paid a severance of more than $112,000, according to Boise Dev. That's in addition to more than $85,000 in accrued leave and benefits as she left the city. The city's standard severance calculation suggests a payment of less than $50,000, according to Boise Dev, which also reports Washburn's predecessor as chief of staff, Jade Riley, also received a nearly 6-figure severance package after departing the city voluntarily. Riley took a job with the city of Ketchum. City spokesperson Maria Wig told Boise Dev severance is paid out of the mayor's budget and said Riley specifically had a departure agreement for a smooth transition, but did not offer further details. Washburn did not respond to a request for comment. Idaho's Transportation Department says it is ready to unveil the new plans for the reconstruction of the historic Highway 55 Rainbow Bridge in Valley County. Here's Jackson Holmes with more.
The landmark is nearly a century old and spans across the North Fork of the Payette River, just north of Smith's Ferry. The Idaho Transportation Department says the concrete arch bridge's age is starting to show, and it no longer meets state highway standards. The Idaho Transportation Department says the concrete arch bridge's age is starting to show, and it no longer meets state highway standards. According to the department, the bridge has deteriorated beyond repair, and both the cost and risk of maintenance are too high. Over the past 2 years, ITD met with community members to get feedback on next steps. One group that strongly opposes demolishing Rainbow Bridge is Preservation Idaho. According to the organization's website, it doesn't believe the department has been transparent in their reporting of the bridge's structural problems. The advocacy group also says it wants the bridge to be preserved either as a monument or a pedestrian bridge. Jackson Holmes, Boise State Public Radio News.
ITD will share an update with the new bridge design and take public comment at an open house this afternoon from 4 to 7 at the American Legion Hall in Cascade. Water forecasts for the summer irrigation and fire season continue to be well below normal. Water managers say runoff in the Upper Snake region is the 8th lowest in the last 45 years, with American Falls and Palisades below normal. Jackson Lake is close to full, but there's no way out of low water impacts on the Snake River this year. At yesterday's Water Supply Committee meeting, water managers were told about 75,000 acre-feet of supply has already been used to boost flows for fish health in the Upper Snake region. The Upper Snake Reservoir system is expected to have zero water carryover by the end of this irrigation season. The Upper Snake River Valley and most all of south central and southwest Idaho below the Snake River are experiencing extreme drought conditions, according to data from April. Drought over the Owyhee Mountains is worse. Statewide, just 15% of snowpack remains. That number, though, is as high as 32% in some regions. Mountain runoff season is tracking about 3 weeks ahead of normal, according to Natural Resources Conservation Service hydrologist Erin Wharton. She says despite the low numbers, Idaho and Wyoming are in better shape than other states in our region. Reservoirs in the Payette and Boise River basins remain full. The risk of significant wildfires next month is high in eastern Washington and eastern Oregon. That's according to the latest prediction map from the National Interagency Fire Center. Experts say mandatory wildfire building codes could reduce the loss of homes when blazes hit communities. But as the Mountain West News Bureau's Murphy Woodhouse reports, states across our region are taking very different approaches to the idea.
Arizona, New Mexico, Idaho, and Wyoming have no statewide wildfire building codes. Colorado adopted a code last year with enforcement expected to begin this year. Most other western states are somewhere in between. That's according to a recent report and accompanying map.
I think the most important takeaway of our map is that most of the states in the West are considering implementing some type of building code to reduce their wildfire risk at the statewide level.
That's Ryan May Handy, a planner with the nonprofit think tank Headwaters Economics. She says one of the goals is to show state leaders possible solutions being tried elsewhere. Research shows that home hardening and other measures can significantly increase home survivability. Handy also says they could help address the insurance crisis facing many Western communities. For the Mountain West News Bureau, I'm Murphy Woodhouse.
And thanks for listening to The Connector from Boise State Public Radio. If you're in the Boise area, you should know our meet and greet series, Another Round, is back. You can meet and hang out and ask questions of our Mountain West News Bureau reporter Murphy Woodhouse next Thursday, May 28th. That'll be at Boise Brewing at 6 p.m. Find details on our website, boisestatepublicradio.org. I'm Troy Oppie. Thanks for listening. Make it a great day.
You know, every day on Up First, NPR's Golden Globe-nominated morning news podcast, we bring you 3 essential stories. At the heart of each story are questions. What really happened? What really mattered? What happens next? At NPR, we stand for your right to be curious and to follow the facts. Follow Up First wherever you get your podcasts and start your day knowing what matters and why.